Mr. Don DeBar is an activist and political commentator with me now live from New York. Let's get his comments on the situation. Mr. DeBar, welcome to the Top 5. Now, how should we be assessing this move by Israel? The second strike now, what we're seeing on the surface is Israel saying that we wanted to stop missiles from getting into the hands of Hezbollah. But how should this move be assessed? Will there be consequences?
Well, there are always consequences to every act of war. That happens within the context of a headline at Haaretz, the Israeli newspaper, that Lawrence Wilkinson, who was the senior aide to Colin Powell, says that Israel may have carried out false flag attacks in Syria, the chemical weapons attack that we've supposedly heard so much about. This former high-ranking U.S. official says that Israel may have carried that out in Syria. The New York Times is reporting that the reason for the Israeli strike is a claim that Iran had brought weapons intended for Hezbollah that were being transshipped through Damascus airport, and that's why the strike took place. In other parts of the media, the strike is being targeted at Hezbollah directly and has nothing to do with Iran, so they haven't quite got their story straight. But it happens in the context of senior U.S. officials saying that Israel may be behind false flag attacks in Syria.
And it's also been interpreted by some, Mr. DeBar, as a move by Israel to ease the Western intervention, so to speak, in the case of Syria. Do you think that is the case?
It may well be. The United States discovered a model in Libya where they use formal air support. They used NATO there for the alleged insurgency on the ground, which are actually al-Qaeda troops and other disaffected people from around the Middle East who are armed by the West and basically told to attack make disruption there so that whatever plan they have for taking over for regime change can take place. They were successful in Libya. They tried to do the same in Syria, but were blocked from using NATO or UN or US Air Force support by Russia and China at the Security Council. So with the Israelis as a proxy and with the United States, more or less being forced to follow its agent, Israel, by domestic political considerations. If Israel gets involved in a war, this may be the back door.
Mr. Don DeBar, activist and political commentator with us there from New York. Thank you very much.